Hey guys, what is going on? Kevincage back with another daily cryptocurrency video. Like and subscribe if you like what you see, and let's get right into this today. This is going to be kind of a quick video update with a few topics I want to cover, and I'll crank out some more videos later today and tomorrow because I've been extremely busy. But just so we know, of course, backed, we're all waiting for the news on the 23rd when it's all set to go. On the 6th, they are set to custody these solutions, or at least, legally hold Bitcoin, physical Bitcoin, which is great. And again, right here, according to Fundstrat's notes, and this is shared by Michael at Val5Links, investors at the event are excited about the backed launch and the notion of physically settled daily and monthly futures contracts. No longer paper-backed or anything like that. They actually require real Bitcoin to be purchased. And again, that's great for the demand. My belief, and this is not financial advice, I could be way wrong. Bitcoin could be at all-time high by the end of the month. Who knows? But my personal expectation with any types of future contracts is that we will see, a lot of pressure initially, perhaps in terms of Bitcoin going down a little bit more again. And then, boom, we're off. And I believe that after one more initial drop or push, we're going, and please don't trade on my behalf. I am not trading at this time. It's too volatile, and I'm just not taking the risk. But again, guys, future contracts, remember, the parties initially agree to buy and sell an asset for an agreed upon price today, and then they deliver and, pay that at a future point. And that's the delivery date. And then also, I was watching Brad Keim's stream this morning. He was talking about the benefit of having both futures contract, and then also these ETFs, these exchange traded funds. And again, in terms of ETFs, we're used to in the stock world, they're, more so usually, mutual funds, different types of indexes. They're attractive because a lot of them are typically low costs, tax efficient, and they have a lot of stock-like features. But with cryptocurrencies, ETFs, or even ETPs, exchange traded products, are additional products and utility for the cryptocurrency space, especially for institutional adoption. So again, I'm not going to say there's no such thing as bad publicity, because this is great for the space, and I'm all for this type of Bitcoin adoption, even if I do not believe in the technology long term. If you want, a very, I don't want to talk bad about a technology, but a very crappy store of value, Bitcoin is the way to go. But if you want true utility, in my opinion, there's nothing like XRP to date in terms of blockchain technology. All right. And then another thing I want to talk about really quick, on a YouTube video, I went over a kind of a 2016-2017 comparison on the charts to some fractals in the video I just did yesterday. And that was made by Sid Vicious on Twitter. So I linked him down below. And again, he actually left me a comment the other day just saying, yep, thanks for the shout out. I am just comparing the 2016-2017 to today's 2019 market cycle, and so far it's trending like before. However, it does not constitute we are done with the consolidation phase we are in. It appears the consolidation period may end in Q1 of 2020, then prices may increase as we move into Q4 of 2020, given fundamentals of the total altcoin market trend as well. And keep in mind, this is just his opinion based off this analysis, and there's all kinds of different speculation that price will go up at end of year. We'll see drops, who knows? But again, we're seeing more adoption and everything is really picking up. And as he continues this comments I'm reading, we have ways to go, but it will get more exciting next year. In the meantime, message is to tell folks we will see some major turbulence in coming months. Maybe we see a lift off by end of year, but I'm not one to overhype it. At least we can see the chart for what it shows. I still have my moon boots in the closet. If I get excited, then I would suggest it's a big deal. Also, to remind others out there, no one can predict the market, and if they are making such predictions, then they are already wrong. Anyone can make a guess and hopefully get it right. I'll continue to track and monitor the trend and update it when it's necessary on Twitter. I wish you all amazing gains. And honestly, I agree with him with that sentiment, but to be my personal opinion is that we are going to see at least some price action by end of year. If we don't break $1 or at least approach all-time high by end of year, I'm going to be very impatient, because I've been waiting, several years at this point. We've seen tremendous upside, 2 years ago, which was awesome. But again, I'm hungry. I know what that bull market feels like, and I want more. All right. And then next up, I want to talk about this. So we got Roll XRP TikTok, and he actually is just kind of talking about UBI, Universal Basic Income. I just wanted to share it. Again, I have a coil, as you can see, this little Chrome extension up top. I pay for coil on a monthly basis. Hopefully, I'm sending little micro payments via XRP to right now since his article. And I just want to talk about this. I thought this was pretty cool. So, world's largest UBI program utilizing XRP, and it's Universal Basic Income. This is not political. I'm not saying anything for Donald Trump or Andrew Yang. that are, going for the 2020 elections, but it's pretty cool. So he's actually using the XRPTipBot, and he's using the patron feature in the tipbot to make this happen. So he's actually creating recurring tips to different people, whether it's, different charities or content creators. And so he's actually sending me a small fraction of XRP, and this is on a daily basis, and it's all automated, and this is really, really cool. And he's just trying to push attention towards UBI and the idea of expanding the XRP ecosystem. So again, I'm going to have this link down below as well in the comments. So be free, be sure to check this out and maybe give him a follow on Twitter. I always encourage this type of innovation. Next, I Am Legion told you that Vanguard Group is an SBI investor back in April. Guys, Vanguard is a monster. I don't know if you guys have mutual funds or IRAs or money market accounts with Vanguard. You most likely have it with Vanguard or Fidelity or some other large player. They are sitting on like $5 trillion, or what is it? $5 trillion, assets under management. And it's an SBI investor back in April of this year. So let's just check this out real quick, shared by I Am Legion. Again, Yoshitaka Katao. And he is CEO of SBI Group. So right here, SBI Group and Vanguard are applying for products as a joint brand. And we got Sumata Nisa, MoneyZine, Asset Management, and Money Closer. And I'm sure Crypto.yt probably covered this. But again, this was actually just released on September 1st. And as we go down here, let's see here. SBI Securities announced that it will participate in the creation of a joint brand fund, SBI Vanguard S&P 500 Index Fund, between the SBI Group and Vanguard, and will start recruiting on September 12th. And keep in mind, this is just translated. I'm excited to kind of look for more, and I'll have to keep up with Crypto.yt if she's covering any of this in the developments in Japan, as she always does. But that is exciting, and let's kind of look at this thread that I Am Legion compiled. So we got SBI, Accenture. Accenture is going to be quarterbacking all of these groups to really strategically plan these digital transformations for them to adopt blockchain technology. That is not speculation. This is fact. This has been going on for years now in terms of, DLT adoption. So we got SBI Holdings. And as you can see here, we have, Vanguard below as well. And then there was something else I wanted to show you. Where is it? Maybe let me click this thread and scroll up. I can't seem to find it. I'll go back in a minute. But anyways, the Vanguard Group right here, as I've just said, 5.1 trillion in assets under management. It's the largest provider of mutual funds and the second largest provider of what we were just talking about, ETFs in the world, after the one and only BlackRock. All right, that is huge. And of course, we know the connections to BlackRock as well. And then Vanguard Group makes 1.15 trillion assets under management bet on blockchain technology that eliminates giant daily manual processes. And that is a huge thing. Again, this is not just about your cryptocurrency mooning. Of course, I, 100%, 99% am in it to make money. But the other part is actually pretty passionate about technology, innovation, and making the world a better place and more efficient. All right. And then there was something I really wanted to show you guys. Oh, well, either way, pretty cool there. All right. Next, XRP_Anderson. What Ripple is criticized for is likely what will make XRP become the standard in the future, not only for banks and FIs, but also for retail, expanding the XRP ecosystem with other players using XRP. I think micropayments will be the real retail use case for crypto and others doing that. And again, I wholeheartedly think micropayments has the potential, as it's been said time and time again by people of Coil and even David Schwartz himself, that micropayments could be substantially bigger than the world of remittance payments, which is insane to even comprehend, but we're not there yet for that. So I think that we're going to be looking at remittance payments and cross-border payments because that's the true pain point at hand, and then they can focus on automation with micropayments. I know we've talked about, in the future, perhaps, I know in Europe, maybe you're paid on a monthly basis. In the United States here, we are paid bi-weekly every 2 weeks. Imagine a world where at the end of your workday, you're paid instantaneously. Or imagine a world where when you're watching Netflix, you're only paying for what you use. When you're watching a show, you're actually sending micropayments. Just like when I'm on this Coil article here, I'm actually sending fractions of XRP to this user that wrote this blog or a YouTube video, etc. You pay for what you use. So very, very cool thought. And then again, right here, XRP_Quantum Leap even said you're forgetting about B2B, business-to-business payments. The benefits for businesses are enormous, and the volumes going around are hard to wrap your mind around. And remember, just business-to-business, absolutely, even domestically. If there's a true use case for that, or, they have their own walled gardens, not even just businesses, but, these financial institutions, just like JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs with their own inherent digital asset, they need an agnostic bridge to bridge that value. Next up, this is a little shout out right here to XRP Venture. Not even sure if this guy knows who I am, but I just want to give him a shout out. I was watching this video and it's really cool. So give him a subscribe. He'll be down in the pinned comments below. And basically, the point that he makes in this video is this. He says, so there's really two scenarios that we're coming to, guys. We're coming at a standstill. XRP, either has a great company, Ripple, that's made amazing progress to become a successful company, developing its ecosystem suspiciously well, and everything we've found is a mere coincidence. And it's just a great, company that was a startup, successful, and they're here to revolutionize, the world of payments, or at least contribute to the Internet of Value. Or, which is what I believe, the latter, is that this has been a plan since its inception, and this management team is a part of an understanding to make XRP the continuation of having XRP become the world reserve currency. I'm talking about taking the place of the US dollar on the back end of things. I'm not saying you're going to be paying for your gas or your Starbucks using XRP. I'm talking about as a world reserve asset, replacing the US dollar for something a lot more practical and useful. Now, they're not doing this because it sounds nice and it helps. They're basically being forced to do this at this point because we've run out of time. All right. And again, I just want to say props to you. Well said. Nobody knows for sure, and again, this is the healthy speculation we need to get out of this market to discuss, to learn, and grow together. So nobody knows, and we will find out what will happen. This could be a very, very slow rollout since 2013, since, Ripple really started quarterbacking, or kind of like, spearheading this XRP adoption. All right. Next, I want to talk about this I Am Legion. So this little thread is pretty cool here. So yep, it's all geopolitical. So we got Bitcoin equals China. There's 4 big mining pools, basically. There's a bunch of collusion. So there were a bunch of miners, and because of the electricity costs that were so cheap in China, they eventually forced all the miners to go there to start mining Bitcoin because it was, the most profitable spot. And what happens is they kind of join groups, and it's this collusion where eventually they can get more and more and more out of the network and get better rewards by mining. And now as we see these groups, plus JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, first joining R3, then leaving to start their own coin. Then after MoneyGram announcement, the FUD attacks start against Ripple and XRP. Coincidence? And I would have to, agree. I find it very, very ominous. Again, it's pretty odd that with all this Facebook Libra news, it was almost perfect timing in conjunction with this MoneyGram announcement with Ripple. But maybe I'm just paranoid. You tell me. But again, pretty cool just to see this and an analysis of Chinese influence on Bitcoin. Highly recommend you check this out. And then I Am Legion kind of goes on to say, trade wars, currency wars, global debt problems. Keep in mind, we just hit a world debt of like $246 trillion. We're facing negative interest rates. There's talks about cashless society. There's talks about a need to improve cross-border payments and real-time gross settlement systems. There's something going on. And again, he says it's all connected. Same old story, fighting over control and resources. As always, we never learn. And there was a gentleman on Twitter. He has a big following. I think he has a very, very, high-level background from Wall Street in the days, and his name's Greg Manarino, and he literally talks about, it's very odd, he's paying attention to Trump's announcements, and he's saying, well, they're talking about the U.S. dollar's never been stronger, there's progress in the Chinese, trade conversation and trade war, and that's all BS, because despite a stronger dollar, gold and silver are still taking off, and that should tell you something. Now, we already have farmers that are being bailed out as we speak. It's a no-brainer that more layoffs are on the way, and that is more debt on our back. And when it's our back, I'm talking about everyday people, us individual retail investors. This is ugly. Reality is going to hit everyone sooner or later, and what I'm telling you is, prepare now. Pay attention. You don't have to be some crazy whack job letting everyone know and, living with fear, but, hedge. Take care of yourself or your family and your hard-earned money. So even if the stock market does hit, one more all-time high, it will have a massive crash sooner than later. Bottom line, this economy is in a free fall, and we're fooling ourselves if you think differently. All right, so people are already looking for alternatives to the dollar. They're looking at precious metals. They're looking at cryptocurrencies and digital assets. And Trump actually said, he was talking about dollar intervention, aka That's more like dollar depreciation or dollar devaluation, but he doesn't want to say that. More negative interest rates are on the way. This trade deficit between us, the United States, and China is unbelievable. Things are boiling up by end of year. That is without a doubt, and perhaps this is the moment that we've all been waiting for, and that's why I believe we are going to see some action by end of year in terms of appreciation for the whole digital asset space. Adoption has been coming. If we don't see something soon, I will be shocked. I will be absolutely astounded by end of year. But with that, guys, I will get going on some other information today. Let me know what you want to cover and if you have any specific questions, and I'll see you in the next video.